two teams duke it out because this is playoff days, baby.
Cannot wait to see what happens, but Overpass, we've only seen it once, maybe twice this tournament, and it's a great tone setter. Dust 2 following, and then Nuke, of course, as that decider, and it looks like we've got a couple of fans starting to creep into the crowd. So might be some noise made very shortly, but let's have a look at how the pistol goes. Of course, Entropiq going to be selecting the CT side to start on. Overpass, you're a bit of a silly bugger if you don't pick that one.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Slower start now after an early inquiry from Entropiq just to get some information. Alien's now fallen back, so this is just going to chew up some time for Imperial as they have to now check a lot of corners. And they're moving back into that contact play, taking control of mid-connector, key rotation point between the sites. You need the echoes in the connector.
Everyone, you haven't missed anything, don't worry. First pistol of the day, you've come just in time. And at the minute mark, Imperial still deciding where they want to go. You do see this shift, still back towards T-spawn Imperial. A little bit of util to throw. With the shift down Colin as well, it looks like we are going to see this B-split come through. Fallen, just waiting for the train. He's a little bit worried there. Stops, he knows exactly what could have gone wrong at Mir, though. Up against the wall here at Monster, it's looking good. Entropiq get the first pick eventually. And with the time ticking down, Imperial, they get every single kill they need to control the B site. Forrester down to 24, and it's not looking good for him. He needs a reinforcement. Elian, a little bit too far away to help yet.
Yeah, Forrester's just been cut down to 11 HP, and now Elian, he's got all the work to do, and now it's even harder in this 4 versus 1. They know where he is, and they are not going to misplay this. However, that's a ridiculous shot onto Chelo, so looks as though this might be around a bridge too far. Okay. He's going to make it expensive for them, and might even just go for this at the last gasp.
Still time. No kit, though. And it looks like he's just going to back away, keep that half armor into the next. Imperial coming out strong with a big win on that T-side pistol.
It was slow, it was methodical. And in the end, they just overwhelmed Monster. And it looks like we've got some Brazilian fans in the crowd too, because they were there for the first round win. But again, it was just slow and methodical from Imperial. Entropiq.
Yeah.
The counter just wasn't quite there. That instead of Julie's getting cut down at Monster quite early on in the piece too, that really just opened the gates. The floodgates to B were open. And some quick entries as well, really just had Entropiq on the back foot.
Well, into the second, Entropiq backing themselves here with the buy. A couple of scouts. It's the map for it, right? You want those long-range fights, especially over towards the A side of things. Imperial looking to pick up the pace, at least towards Monster. Bolts, the sacrificial lamb over towards the B side, seeing if he can find some info, find some picks here. But Entropiq, they have brought 4 guys to the party down there.
Yeah, they've definitely stacked this site, but how long they'll stick around for, not too sure. They're there with the counter flash. Nickelback's got that prepped and ready, but Imperial, they're not messing around. They're not necessarily over-committing at this stage of the game. Plenty of time to work with. They've got Chelo in a forward position as well. He's got a ton of info, and so now they've got a ton of territory to work with now.
Elian just wants the info jump peeking here at Dice. And Chelo, they have no idea how close he is, how close they are to danger. Imperial, again, doing exactly what we saw from them yesterday. A very slow approach towards these sites, and then explosive executes starting to come through. But Elian teams up with Mir to stop that first pick from coming through. Imperial, they're going to be chipped away at. These scouts just doing so much work here, and Imperial can't get past the defense from Entropiq. Not yet, not now, not in the second round. And Fur is not going to be able to hold his own. There you go. Entropiq strike back in the second.
They were not able to close the distance on that A bomb site. They were kept at an arm's length, and the scouts were doing all the damage. The pistols were there to clean up after the tags, but even then the wide peak with the MAC-10, you could just see how frustrating that would have been for Imperial. They did everything right in the mid-round. They took territory early on as well.
Yeah.
And so when it came to crunch time, Entropiq were there.
Into the third, and Imperial backing themselves as well. Couple of digs, these Tech 9s. We saw a few rounds won from them yesterday with buys like this. We'll see if that trend can continue here. Overpass, it's a different affair though, of course. Long-range fights are not going to favour you unless your aim's damn on point. A Nickelback hits Imperial straight with the punishment. That's a two-man advantage real early on. Bolt, he's got the sound advantage there. Catches Nickelback in rotation. Fallen as well, tapping away. Won't find anything as he makes his way to sight. Still an AK in hand though. Bolt's with this upgrade. It could work well. Molly towards uppers. And all of a sudden, Imperial striking back in the round. Bolt putting the team on his back here.
They found a way in. The bomb plant will come in. Crad is trying to take that 1v1. He does succeed and it's left Bolt in this 1v1. And he has an idea of where Mir could be.
It's a little early for an ace, but he's going to do it anyway. The Brazilians, they've entered the stadium just in time to witness a bit of greatness. But we're still very early on in the game. Imperial, well, at least Bolt, he's here to play.
Bolt is here to play. Bolt has had enough. And it's got the crowd riled up nice and early on. It's exactly what we want. Entropiq, they've got a really sketchy CT buy, not a lot of utility on their backs either, so this could mean that if a site is taken, they might just try and prioritize the save.
Yeah.
So that mid to late round, if it doesn't go their way, they'll be looking to save this out, take that into the next. You've got the Deagles on, Elian and Mir. They can do some early spam damage, maybe even catch some players out here. Vinny needs to be clinical.
Ooh, okay. The 3-tap from Mir is enough to net that first kill of the round. Now, we might see a potential other force by one, MP7. It's done some work and Fallen goes down in con.
This has left Imperial in a tight spot too, because they now have to retake a lot of territory. They pretty much start from scratch. They got mid, but no controller connector. Bolts will be soon to join them. And they've had their backs against the wall in previous rounds, but you can see now that, well, Entropiq, they've got pretty much everything covered. They're now turtling up in the sights. They do remove Mir from mid-connector, so they regain control of the bomb, but 44 seconds left. They've got to get a wriggle on if they want to hit one of these sites with enough time to clear it out and get that bomb down. And
they don't have much map control to do so. Great positioning from Entropiq, as I'm seeing on the map here. A whole lot of control at both sites. Able to play retake no matter which way Imperial come. And Elian, he's going to be that first line of defense. Nickelback, though, gives up long control with the push through. Trying to find some extra information at the 20-second mark, but it's cost him his life. And Imperial, it could cost them the round if they can't filter out this site in time. You've got Bolts coming late to the party, but Bird might have just done enough, done the job. Bombs on the ground, and with minimal time to plant, they might have just missed it. Might have missed the opportunity. The time will tick away, and the bomb's planted afterwards. Entropiq not forcing the point, but doing just enough to slow down that plant.
Yeah, as soon as that 4-second mark is gone, they lose that ability to plant that bomb. So just not working out for Imperial. As I said, they had to get a wriggle on into those sites. There was so much territory to clear. They had to clear every angle. They had to be clinical, and it just cost them too much time in the end. So now Entropiq have a way back in. They do still have that Galil on Bolts, but I mean, as far as everything else is concerned, it's just back to pistols for Imperial. They want to keep forcing the issue though. They know that the CT money is low, so that's why they've come in with these Tech 9s and Deagles and CZ. It really is a mixed bag. Oh, that's a good start.
Big kills coming out of Fallen. Trades there. As Mir as well may not be ready for the man at long, but how's the timing? Pushes through and Mir, goes down to the techie of Fur. And that's going to be the man advantage now, as well as a whole bunch of control towards the A side of things for Imperial.
A little bit more time to work with now too, and they've actually put the CT side under slightly more pressure. However, we have got Entropiq just making that informational play, taking territory down mid. They might even be able to isolate that duel onto Vinny. However, he's got an M4 this time.
Yeah.
So the angle that he currently has held is cleared, but I feel as though they're taking that territory, looking for mid-connector. Patience is rewarded though, and the second. And that's the way back into this round, because Crad is nowhere to be seen. He's in a different postcode. That'll be Imperial taking control of the A bomb site, but they are still going to clear every angle.
Vinny had a great day yesterday, and it took him a while to find his first couple of kills, but those two looked damn clean. Finally getting the impact just when it's necessary. And Crad, he is just tucked away in the corner here. Looking to keep the M4 into the next, so Entropiq have some kind of fighting chance in that 6th round. But Imperial, this is going to be them taking the lead, showing what they're made of. And they've done it just with a couple of Tech 9s in the mix as well.
Yeah, just closing that distance, really putting Entropiq under quite a bit of pressure. Individual duels. That's what it came down to. Imperial were able to isolate individual duels. That's not the position you want to be in when you're an anti-force. So, Crad will save out that M4, but the rest of Entropiq will be lucky to scratch together anything. So, Imperial, this really is back and forth. As we said, it was two teams that are quite slow and structured, but the pace is pretty much what we expected.
It certainly is. Now, look, stadium's starting to fill up. Guys, I want a vibe check nice and early. I need to be woken up here. Entropiq first. Do we have much Entropiq in the audience?
Yeah,
okay,
that's good,
a little bit. What about Imperial fans? Where's the Brazilians at? Oof. Look, there's not many of them, but they're damn loud. That's what I'll tell you.
They are bloody loud.
Keep it going. There's going to be Brazilians for the first 2 games at least. And there's still a chance, ladies and gentlemen, that this could be an all-Brazil grand final if Imperial win now and Pain win later. There'd be a whole bunch of noise all day here in Rod Laver Arena.
Yeah, I think Entropiq have other plans though, so that's why they've taken some time out to talk about this. How are things going to be distributed in this round? They've actually gone back to those scouts. We saw them, they did work wonders. That was the round where they really just kept Imperial from being able to get into the A bomb site, all on the back of some scouts. So Imperial need to realise that. Otherwise they could be in some trouble early on, but this long push could be troublesome if they do not check this. They have numbers on it. Fallen's got that undercover for now, but the rest of it, Entropiq are taking their time as well. They put their B side on lock. Imperial, slow territory taken early on. They're not overcommitting numbers. They're very much turtled up, aren't they?
Just ready for anything Entropiq throws at them. Spacing starting to go a little awry for Imperial, but they want some information. Flash it long, and Mir has his head down, but it's not enough. Pops it up at the wrong time. And Chelo finds 2 quick eco frags. Big shots, though.
One tap dirt nap. That's one way.
Well, he's on for the A's. Feed it to him. Imperial. They want it. And Forrester's running the other direction. 5-7 in hand, saying, come at me, Chelo. See what you got. Play me like a fiddle.
It's a symphony of destruction for Chelo. And my, oh my, it's a way to put your stamp of authority on the round. Not that there was a huge buy coming in from Entropiq, but he's the kind of player that if he gets into the game early on, and as we saw yesterday, really had a lot of strings to his bow.
He's done Chelo dirty there.
He was looking, he was in the mix.
But what's that? That'd have to be like the 20th time I've seen Imperial win an anti-eco with 5 alive this weekend.
Oh man,
just
that
so
shot.
Often. Have a look at him again, Jim. God damn. Chelo is here to reap some rewards.
The only thing crisper than that might be the morning here in Melbourne, but I tell you what, that is ice cold from Chelo.
Well, into round 7 we go, and Entropiq are looking less ready than the previous, but at least they've come in droves towards the B side of things. Imperial are going to fight fire with fire here. We got 10 men ready to brawl here on the B side. Great flash comes through. Bolts can't see a damn thing, but Entropiq, they'll find one onto Vinny. Nowhere near close enough to use that weapon though. And Imperial hit right back. 4 alive, and the stonks, the economy, the bank, it's all rising.
And they keep that relatively clean. They only lose 1 player there, Imperial, so the money's starting to really build for them. Pressure's starting to build now on Entropiq. They're on that CT side of Overpass. They've got to maximize everything.
Yeah.
This is that Imperial map pick, so let's just see whether or not Entropiq have to rely on their Dust 2 pick to get them through, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far from Imperial, but back on the gun round now, though. It feels as though it's been ages since we've seen Entropiq on the gun round. Nice early util damage onto Fur. And so this just chews up so much time for Imperial. Look how deep set they are. Back in playground, back at the back of connector, and not even at the spindle yet, so...
It's giving so much map control, showing so much respect. They know Imperial has been dealing with them so well every time they try to go aggressive.
Just slow and methodical now from Imperial. Just setting everything up. Flashes to clear out, toilets. And so Entropiq are well set. They're deeply set in this site. Alien's probably the furthest forward player with the cover of that smoke starting to fade too. Now, I suspect they will fall back to that bomb site. And funnily enough, if they do get caught out. Oh, Fallen cops a bit of damage there. So a little bit of spam on that line from Nickelback. Forces him to take that shot. And that actually has a lot of information for Entropiq. But Vinny, the timing.
Sitting in that smoke, waiting for the fade. Nickelback holds strong. The molly puts him in the open and burns him to a crisp as well. But Imperial, they may still be in it to win it. Vinny with another, expecting that push in through the smoke. And now the site, it's controlled. Fallen shows some great coverage and some more as well. Crisp shots to Alien. And it's Forrester in a 1-on-3. Maybe able to find himself another pick here. He's taken the head off Chelo's shoulders. Got Fallen and Vinny to get past, clearing out long first shoulder, spotted.
Okay.
And now he's on for one, but Vinny peeks on the contact, hits back quickly. And Imperial stand up tall, 6 already on the T side.
Yeah, it was a rough one for Entropiq because that was another gun round for them that they do drop. So Imperial, they really do make everything quite expensive, even on the rounds that they're dropping. And, well, just back to pistols for Entropiq at this point. So as far as they're concerned, they're giving up a lot of territory early on. And yes, it's chewing up time for Imperial, but that just leans into their gameplay style. They like the slower rounds. They like executing late. They like hitting this site with a limited timer. And that Fallen pick opens up nicely. Alien trying to take the fight to Imperial. And that's a scout dropped. So now just the pistols. The ranged efforts aren't going to be much chop. Pretty much forced to play in the sights now.
Prog util coming through from Imperial. Looking to clear out party. Start to make their way to bathrooms. And Entropiq are happy to keep the stack towards the lower side of things here. Imperial are slowly shifting up connector as well. Not telegraphing too much. But enough to bring Entropiq up towards A.
So much territory to clear up. There's not a single chance being taken by Imperial whatsoever. Then you're not going to goblin them. You're not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah.
So, Entropiq have no information. As we said, they're deep in those sites. This flash might be a nice chance to catch some Imperial players off, but I think it's going to be a little bit too late. It might catch the back half, and that's allowed first, straight to the site. Nice and clean from him. Mir provides resistance, but all for naught in the end.
Nice shot. Nice positioning coming through there. Unfortunately for Entropiq, didn't work. Imperial were ready, waiting, guns in hand, and are stretching out this lead round by round. Entropiq just can't seem to get a hold on this CT side economy because they're not getting any rounds here, Jim.
That they are not. Back onto a gun round now, and Alien has that AWP in his hands, so real chance to take the fight to Imperial. That Molotov means they're going to try and take some territory early on. These early picks might be an option, but again, Imperial, that's not where the focus is. They're actually going to go a little bit faster, change that tempo straight into B. And that's, funnily enough, where Entropiq have very little focus right now, but Nickelback very much keeps it in play.
That timing perfectly. But now a few couple of trades start to come through towards Monster. 2-on-2, Vinny very low. And Entropiq, this is their best shot in a few rounds now. Orp still in the hands of Elian here as he starts to make his way through short. Mir as well. You can never take this man lightly. Open plant, and we do see the wrap to heaven now, so we'll see if that's going to work out for Bolts. Vinny still tucked away at pit. Wants to be that first point of contact, but he's so low, and he'll go down to the quick spam after being spotted. 1-on-2 now for Bolts. He has to try to clutch. Bomb still in the open. He knows exactly what he has to do here, but Elian is going to be able to take him down. Mir has a kit. He's got time. And Entropiq, they've got a third round. Coming through just in time before it's too late in the half. But they need to shift this momentum before it's too late.
Changing pace not working at all for Imperial. Good on the entries. They pretty much had an empty site to get into, but unfortunately that left numbers up for the retake.
Yeah.
And Entropiq, they were able to make that work in the end. Post-plan positioning wasn't amazing for Imperial. As soon as that information was passed on where Bolts was. So now it gives Entropiq an in to this round. Finally, they're able to afford the utility that they need. Mir in a very forward position. Elliot not quite finding the timing, but Mir's there for the cover.
Tucked in the corner, an aggressive maneuver, and it's working well for now. Fallen going to be tucked into the corner, has the flash, blinds Mir, wants a little more, throws the second one and peeks around to grab another.
Punished for overextending. However, they do still have a player advantage in Entropiq, and look at all this information Forrester has attained. Bolts and Fallen have a lot of work to do.
Oh, Forrester has the advantageous angle there, a little further away from the corner. Works that out well. So it was this 2-on-4, but we'll see what Fallen's going to be able to do. Entropiq have him locked right in here. Fallen, if he can make it past Forrester, there is a good chance the clutch could be on. He knows he's not going to connect though. And with the nade, the AK, it's enough. He goes back to the AWP, and with 30 seconds, he's still a little curious about what's going on behind him. Offline from Nickelback is enough to lock a fourth, and that'll do it.
Nickelback with a smart play there. Also the information would have come through that he was pushing with the death cam. So there it is, Smack. That's what they're playing for at the end of the day here.
Giving that one away, aren't we?
Yeah, I know that's been your baby, Mac.
It's been all right.
All the way that you were clutching it this morning.
I'll give it a kiss before we give it away. Or maybe I won't. We'll check if the people want it.
Now,
for now,
Entropiq, they've been able to string some rounds together. That's really important for a CT side. And so up until these last 2 rounds, they haven't had a lot of success. Imperial have just been very, very slow and methodical. They've had a lot of territory to work with. Entropiq have been giving it to them, though. They've been allowing them early passage in the rounds. And, well, this time was the first time they actually started to take the fight to them.
yeah.
And actually, with that information, were able to push through on A. They were able to push through at B.
Early molly towards the top of T-Con there. Chelo beats all the damage. Those HEs getting dodged like it ain't no thing. 20 seconds in. There's not too much early util used from either side. Still plenty for this mid-round. Imperial. I'm just going to drop that smoke at the end of con. They act like they're going up towards the top of toilets, but it's all the ruse. Imperial going for a different approach, and it's over towards long. Flash not going to work initially. Second one hits, and Elian falls off the line before he gets too much information. But Entropiq have been struggling when they're playing back towards the site, so we shall see if this is going to be a change of pace.
It worked for them in the earlier parts of the half, but I don't know, Imperial seem to have made those tweaks. They've worked things out. They're also giving themselves more time to be able to hit those sites is the key piece of information that we've been omitting. But Imperial now, again, this long presence. They want to try and show that late. But oh man, Forrester put a dent in the plans of Imperial. And Krad's just buying some time. That really does put a halt to any long plans that they had, but fallen. Okay, there's an entry into this, and unfortunately the bomb's gone down with chelo at B, so this is a no-go. Imperial need to save these weapons.
Oh, Elian has heard everything. He might be able to catch someone on the flank, but minimal time. It looks like he's very worried about Entropiq's own economy. They've had those financial woes pretty much this whole half, and they're happy to take a 5th. So, 3 in a row now. Entropiq starting to swing that momentum. Imperial keeping a couple of weapons into the next. They're going to buy right down to nothing. So, if they lose this one, it's going to be a little rough. Loss bonus at 2,900 now means into the next, if they do at least get a bomb plant somewhere, they should still be able to buy it.
Molly extinguished. Don't want to take too much damage in the early stages, and that's what Entropiq have been able to dish out with this extra money they've found. The rounds are starting to string together for them, but they do burn through a little bit of damage util in the early phases. However, again, what they've done is just created all this space for the CT side, just chewing up so much time that Imperial maybe don't have heading into the latter end of the round, but as we said, Imperial have been a little bit better at just hitting the timer earlier on and not leaving themselves with nothing to get into the sights.
Short take comes through, Imperial.
They got a smoke and a flash Mac. They really don't have a lot of options.
They have some decent map control to hit this B site, but look at the timing. Forrester, he's peeked across the silencer. I believe it was spotted, but Imperial, they're just going to peek right back. The positioning from Entropiq couldn't have been better. They got right there just in the nick of time. And Bolt, he's going to be able to find that first entry. Vinny posted up, waiting for the rotation deep towards Dirty Water. And oh my lord, it is not going well for Entropiq this round. The 2-man disadvantage, and Nickelback, he's going to try and go forward. It cost him his life, and now things go from bad to worse. Mir.
Okay.
He's on a rip, he's on a tear. He's got 3 more T's to take. He'll need an ace to clutch it.
But he wants more money, Mac. That's the problem. 3v1, no kit in his hands. And he's got Fur to deal with on this lurk, so he might not even be able to save this M4.
No.
That's disaster for Entropiq, and they've fought so hard to get their economy up, but again, in the end, it's just not enough. Imperial have really hurt them at the business end of the first half.
Well, that's the majority of the rounds in the first half. Going to Imperial now. And if we do see the winds swing back their way, there's a big chance they could take 10 rounds on the T side of Overpass. And Entropiq could be in trouble. Now, I'm having a quick look at the stats here. In the last 3 months, Imperial actually have a 0% win rate on Overpass, and it's their map pick. So they've come in fully prepped, ready, just to take Entropiq down. Pulling something out of their sleeves for this one.
Bit of homework being done, that's for sure. And look at the fruit that it is bearing. Approach here. Does he want that gap closed? Yes, he does. Full of confidence into mid-connector. Big part of the pie now taken for Imperial. He goes on to find a second. He's in some top form this morning. Really difficult to deal with for Entropiq, and Vinny, well, timing working out just yet, but look at all this, Matt. It's such a big map to cover with 3 remaining players. So Entropiq, they actually haven't decided to gamble it on the site. However, Forrester, such a forward position, catches Vinny, gives him an into the round, but he's traded.
Great shooting there from Bolts to find him through the metal. Now, Entropiq, an M4, a P250, all they have here. Imperial are walking right into the weaponry. Elian in the way, stops Ballin from making his way down long. And Imperial, they're aware of all those positions now. Fur may be caught throwing this util, drops into the pit just in time. But the molly has bought Fur the extra space to keep on going forward. And Imperial are looking very damn good at finding a 9th here. Entropiq, they're running away. They need something to defend either side into the next round, into the final round of the half. Imperial are coming in real damn hot to this semi-final.
The bonus here for Entropiq is with saving that weapon, they pick up that AWP that Fallen had left behind at long. So this is where you're going to see Imperial really try and push for this. Yeah, their money's not fantastic, but they'd rather that than have anything in the hands of Entropiq. The M4 goes down. Elliot, got a fair idea of where he is, but don't think they're going to be able to take him in time. I think they're quite content with that, Imperial. So we've seen it happen a few times in Entropiq in these late round situations.
Yeah.
They do opt to stack the site, and I think that's a fantastic way of making sure that you're either going to be in the contest or saving your weapons. And in this case, they did manage to save the AWP out, but what would they be able to piece together around it? I'm not too sure they're going to have enough money to do too much. If they prioritize utility, they're really lacking weaponry, and you can see right now they've tried to put together as best they can. They prioritize utility somewhat, but I mean the MP9s, they've got to close the gap, they've got to close the distance.
That being said, we saw what Mir could do earlier with this scout, and that's all he's brought into this round. However, Imperial have so much util to play with, and they've already got chelo so deep here out. Monster might be able to catch a timing. See Entropiq already, jump peeking. Crad, he wants to get forward. The stack isn't going to be strong enough. There's a whole bunch of shots coming through there. And Imperial now calling the audible.
Oh, they're making these MP9s try and work for everything. Just trying to these flash peaks, making it a little bit harder for Imperial to sit comfortably with the territory that they have. And now Forrester. Oh, the MP9 with the jump.
He's not done that. Usually you need that triple boost, but the jumping accuracy of the MP9 at that range is still good enough for another. It's cost Forrester his life, but the trades right now favoring Entropiq. They've got that one-man advantage. Crad, he's low, but he can still find some impact, and Imperial are trying to figure out how to get back into the round from here.
And we're looking for the boost in. As far as utility is concerned, Bolt has the key. He has that smoke, which has just been laid, that will go into heaven, and so hopefully Fur on the back of that will be able to get the info and territory, and that's exactly what's happened. They've moved back up to A, and Mia recognizes that, so already the rotation is coming through. Fur's going to get as much territory as quickly as possible, try and shore things up for the bomb plant.
Just back here coming from the front. The other three looking to make it come from behind, and there you have it. chelo stops it, at least for two. That's going to be the numbers, but Nickelback finishes off Bolts with a nade. So still in a 2-on-2. The time now against Entropiq to make the move. Nickelback doing work here, coming out of bank, and it's chelo. He got the ace earlier, and he's got to do it again to clutch it out for Imperial. AWP in hand, no fear. And the bomb's planted. Smoke goes down, defuse starting to come through now. chelo falls. And a last-ditch effort at the end of the half. Net Entropiq a sick damn round. Ladies and gentlemen, we've still got a second half of Counter-Strike here on Overpass, but to get there, we've got to go to a break. We'll be right back.
that same old feeling. Don't know what's right or wrong. Searching for meaning. I've been thinking about it way too.
Well, we've got ourselves a second half here on Overpass, as you'd expect, of course. We've also got a crowd slowly but surely building up. And we've also got Imperial leading by 3 at the half. And now they get to defend as well here on the CT side. Entropiq need to lift real damn bad here on Overpass if they want a shot. And the T side is a hard place to do that, Jim. But look, a pistol's a great way to start it.
Certainly is. 9-6 the scoreline can be overturned by a strong pistol performance. So, Forrester getting proceedings underway. And, well, that leaves Imperial a player short. Smoke flash comes in. That's going to give them some cover to work with. But Vinny has plans of his own.
Ooh.
And so, have they got the commitment? Yes, they have. Vinny finds one, but he's got a lot to hold on to.
The defensive util's just been working so well for Vinny just to dance around until Crad finds a little one-way, jumping over Toxic there. Bolts gets the reload off. A couple of foot shots come in. He's good for one, but it's not quite enough just yet. Now Fallen last alive in a 1-on-3. It's looking damn grim, but he's doing a decent job for now. Forrester hits back, quick trade, and Entropiq kick the T-side pistol off with a dub too.
Yeah, it was pretty simple stuff from them too. Early contact, and then straight into that B execute once they found that pick. So the utility was on point as well with that smoke towards the pole. And that just provided the cover, everything that they needed to get into that bomb site. So everything was perfect from Entropiq. They got themselves off to a flying start here, but the force coming in from Imperial could be their undoing if they're not careful. Got the scouts. We saw it work for Entropiq on their second round too, so we know how much of a handful scouts can be on this map, particularly for teams who do like to take things slow, leave it to the late round.
Decent buy as well coming through from Imperial. They're just going to hold this util. Try and play around it later on in the round. Elian. That heaven smoke to come through, and Forrester too. Oh, catches Bolt napping for a second. And a quick kill to Vinny is enough to crack open the B site. Crad as well. You don't want to be peeking this man. He's tagged down to 13, but at the same time, he has confidence for days. And he's also got me running in with the Mac-10. Not ready for Chelo here, who's had a scorcher of a game so far, already 15 kills, and he wants to make that more as well. Chasing Nickelback down by his heels, but is he going to expect Crad tucked away in the corner?
Yeah, he's aware of the presence of Crad, but not too sure whether or not he's going to be in toilets. In fact, he's even going to try and clear that out because he knows what's potentially on offer. In the meantime, though, you've got Imperial just sort of covering, or sorry, Entropiq covering all bases. Just sort of set this net around him, and hopefully Chelo will fall into it, but might be looking for a weapon upgrade. They know that Scout went down somewhere. Would be even better to pick up an AK.
Still lurking. There's a rifle. Oh, in the corner. It's so hard to spot a player sitting there. Just through those tables. And Entropiq are extremely happy to find themselves an 8th. Looking to tie up the game now, going into the 3rd round of the half. And if they do, maybe, just maybe, they can have a solid T side as well. But look at these again from Forrest. They cross their placement on that swing to Wood. Man, he's feeling it on the T side.
Absolutely. It's the kind of form you want to be in as well. Get yourself involved early on in the piece. This is not a series you want to be finding yourself slow starting in, but Mir needs to back off. There's a lot of CTs coming his way, and he's got the right weapon.
He's got it in hand, reloads off as well, tries to isolate the fights in time, but Fallen is going to be able to hit back for one. Mac-10 now retrievable if they want it, but they are just going to try to chase this down. Looks like it could be a coordinated swing, but Imperial just back away instead. Happy with the Mac-10. happy with the chance at the round, knowing that the bomb's gone all the way down to B, they might be able to find themselves some extra damage here.
No, Alien picks up one. Looking for more cash though. The jump offsets the crosshair, but he's still good. As Fallen picks up a very vital kill, to be honest, because that's going to bolster his money, give him a little bit more on that CT side. Now they can pick up that AWP. So great for him to get that Mac 10 kill. That kill bonus really will come in handy.
I actually love the size of the crowd right now because after every round, there's just like a gentle clap and it's like we're just watching golf. You know, they sink the putt and then we just get the... It's beautiful. Thanks, guys. No, it's not a big crowd yet, but you're here. You're having a good time. Thank you, thank you. Now, all tied up.
Respectfully watching.
9 rounds apiece, Jim. Going into the 19th. It's anyone's game to take it. We got AWPs on both sides. We got rifles everywhere and a huge amount of util for both.
This is where things start to get a wriggle on for both of these two teams. They can sense double digits, and once you're in double digits territory, you're already looking towards match point as far as goals are concerned. But this is a bit of a fast approach from Entropiq. They've been afforded territory by Imperial. The numbers just aren't there at 8, and so look at this, they are running wild with it. You've got Fur in a very forward position. He's been so solid, but Elian's got him covered.
Ooh. Elian, quick on the stick with that one. And is the man advantage going to be enough to be the first team all the way to the double digits, the illustrious advantage?
Okay.
Fallen stops them at their knees.
That he does. He actually finds that frag in transition. They were getting out of A. They'd shown presence. They were trying to rotate through. They had mid-connector control. And so there was actually a triggered rotation from Imperial. But it's actually now turned into some proactive CT play. But in the meantime, B has just been left wide open. Bolts will do his best to do damage through the smoke, but they have free passage in. The retake is now setting up for Imperial. And well, a lot of work here for Chelo to do out of mid-connector. They've given away that there's presence coming through, so Mir's got a job to do to hold that down. And if you're Imperial, they're going to be biding all of their time. I don't see a kit in hand though, Max, so that's the part of me that thinks that this is just straight up a save.
These smokes were just too much to buy the extra time, and Imperial have just been fended off with utility. Vinny still not moving a muscle there. And it's just that handshake, that gentleman's agreement that all 8 might survive here. And we're going to have another gun round going into the next. Difference is, Entropiq, they're in the lead for the first time in a damn while.
It's been hard earned for them, but we know how hard it is to do that on the T side of Overpass. Also chase down the deficit too, so the pressure's on them. But that 4-gun save from Imperial gives them every fighting chance into this next round. They only lost Spur. Very solid buy from Imperial, but this time it's a little different.
Fallen wants to go for that early cheeky peek there at the top of party. But that molly gets smoked late, and Entropiq send it back the other way, thinking Imperial are going for that fountain control. Which means that's a pretty long rotation as well, back to B, unless they've got that con control. And you see Chelo on the map there, just lurking, laying in wait. And Entropiq are going to go for the one-pronged approach straight through Monster, but Vinny, he can't see a thing, but he doesn't damn need to.
Doesn't need to. When the fish are in the barrel, all you need to do is click, and he's held it down. Chelo through connector as well. Makes it difficult. He's got Fur for support. Elian with the trade, but it's only a 3v1 at best. A minute left to play with. The bomb is down. And so Elian's already turned his attention to saving. They got good money. A bit of damage there on the fall. He'll be looking to do damage to the economy of Imperial.
Slow approach, pre-scoped, trying to stay sneaky. Bomb down in water. Vinny's here waiting. Time against him. Elian starting to make a ruckus now. Vinny will have heard every single step. 20 seconds, only to Toxic. But Elian looks like he's going the long way to a save. Because there's no chance of a plant now from this position. Orp, very valuable in the hands of Entropiq going into the next round. And Imperial hit right back with a 10th of their own. As close as you love it to see it. 10 rounds on either side of the scoreboard right now. And Overpass is providing some solid counter-strike right now.
Certainly is. Vinny just made entry so difficult. It's a tough ask to get through Monster like that. You've literally got to just hold the spray pattern for Vinny, and that's exactly what he did. Just denied them entry. And from there on, Imperial, they had control of the round. Entropiq were on the back foot. Tactical timeout now. Hooch will be rustling his troops. Been a big fan of Hooch, actually, all the way back to 1.6 days. The original Virtus Pro. He's got a lot of experience, and he's been guiding this roster with all of that experience, particularly on these big stage games too. And so, in moments like that, that's where they lean on the coach. As we said, this is qualification. This is a grand final spot on the line, Matt, here at ESL Challenger Melbourne, and everything to play for.
It's do or die. Entropiq, they didn't lose. They didn't get that second chance in the group stage, but they won't get a second chance here. Imperial, of course, losing to Pain, but then playing a scorcher of a game yesterday against Greyhound. And looking very, very sharp early on in the morning here in Melbourne, Australia. Great aggression coming through from Imperial. Look at the map control they've already managed to gain.
Bird just taking some tick damage from that Molotov, forcing him to back off, but left falling with the line. Chelo just spotting for toes. So, well, Entropiq have got to take territory. Oh, Elian all over that.
Map knowledge. It comes in handy most of the time. And it looks like it might just happen again. Chelo flashing over towards Fountain, but it's all fake. Smoke going to be tanked here by Mir, and oh, he's going to catch a timing too, so Chelo won't find more than one. We're back to this 4-on-4. Imperial rotating appropriately, looking to play that 2-2 setup. And Entropiq, they've only got 30 seconds to get to a site and plant, so we'll see where they go.
It's going to be telegraphed from here on out, isn't it? They really can't afford the contact play. They've got a belt of utility, and you'd feel silly not to use it either, but I think that might just be the case. They're going to go play contact, use it in the post plant. Flash signals their way into this B-bomb site. Vinny is just laying in wait. He's got bolts for cover. And so the smoke rains in from the CT side. Time to plant, Mac. Have they got it?
I don't know. Vinny, he's doing a decent job of stopping this one from happening. One bullet onto Nickelback is all that's needed, and they cannot find him in time. But quick kills coming through. Bolts and Fallen looking damn good in the 2-on-2. But both their positions are known now. Forrester takes his kill. Fallen hits back, and we got a 1-on-1. Who's going to clutch here? Fallen waiting. Shadow advantage here for Forrester! But Fallen, he's not just an experienced Torper. He picks up the AK, he does what he needs to, and he gets the crowd going with that one. Imperial take the lead by 1 round.
He had the presence of mind to check behind. Mir was the sitting duck if he didn't make that move. That right there. He had to make it, but Fallen was ready and waiting. Experience counts for everything in scenarios like that, and they fight their way into another round. CT economy still fragile, Max, so it's important they followed up with a second. Entropiq really have a chance to put some hurt on Imperial, though. Ooh! Finds that one blind, so key piece of the puzzle falling early on for Entropiq. Mir goes down.
He didn't have enough action in the clutch. He wanted to get that first blood real damn early. And now Entropiq on the back foot, looking to equalize to 11-11. But it's going to be a long uphill battle from here. Postured, ready to smack it towards that B site, but we'll see if Imperial is going to be able to stop it. They've got plenty of util to do so. You can see that counter nade coming through over towards Monster, but the boost is good. And there's that equalization they were looking for. 4v4 now.
We've got time to work with as well. So Nickelback's got connector control, but it looks as though everybody's going to cycle back towards this B bomb site. Nickelback might be that late lurk to try and cut off a rotation. But no, they've actually pulled the plug, so trying to play with the rotation of Imperial quite a bit. The problem is with going back to A, they're going to leave it to the late round.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of angles to cover. They're not quite sure how far Imperial are going to be pressed up on this map, so it's going to chew up some time. Going to leave themselves about 10 seconds to get into the site. Fallen's there with the orb, so really it's going to be on how well they use the remaining utility they've got. Here we go.
He's already hit one of these at the start of the round, but it's his time to shine with 10 seconds to plant now. Entropiq trying to get to site. They'll start to make it on, but Fallen, he is stopping them in their tracks right now, and they pack their bags, send it back to bathrooms, look to flush the toilet because Imperial is taking a big old dump on them right now.
Shut the lid. That is another round for Imperial. And unfortunately for Entropiq, they couldn't get past Fallen. They had the util advantage. They got themselves into the site, but the bomb went down at the worst possible moment for them, and it didn't leave them a lot of time to recover. Man, Fallen was playing a very active role in the early part of the half, but just gets himself back in to the site, into Bank. Banks around for Imperial. Look at this buy from Entropiq. They want to try and keep the pressure on their opponents as much as possible, but it doesn't leave them with a lot of utility. They are starting to speed things up a little bit. They don't want to leave themselves with late round possibilities. They want to give themselves mid to late round options.
Playing it slow. Entropiq putting high priority in hitting this B site. The A site wasn't working as well as what we've seen down on that lower side of things. And now they've got themselves a man advantage to play with. What do we see Imperial pull out here? On the CT side, you usually want to get a bit more proactive, try to equalize at some given point. And that point might be just around the corner here. Fur on the offline. And Chelo not too far away to help him out as well.
Oh, man.
We'll see if Entropiq are ready. They're definitely grouped up. They're looking for a couple of trades. They're looking for a couple of lines here. But Fur, he's done it for one. Entropiq maintain the advantage.
This late lurk from Chelo, that could be a real problem. Nobody's watching. Ooh, does a lot of damage to the alien, but the site is clear. The bomb is down. Chelo couldn't quite find the next, and well, that chews up a little bit of time. What can Vinny do? He's got Fallen in tow, but that is a great start. The bomb is down again.
The open two, and it's going to be retrieved just in time. Crad gets the kill, gets the plant, and Fallen. Can he back it up from the previous rounds?
He was at the other side. He had to make that adjustment. He had to cover that option because that bomb was still in no man's land. It was in mid. It could have gone back to B. And this is just going to be a save from Imperial. As I said, they weren't out of murky water yet with their economy. And so everything they take away from this will be gold for them, particularly that orb. As we've seen, Fallen's taken a more proactive role in the early round.
Yeah.
And, well, this time, Entropiq, they tried to force that issue.
Have a look at the save as well. Only bolts there with the bank broken right now. So we should see some form of buy coming out from Imperial in the next, whether it be pistol armor. Have a look here. Oh, they're right as rain. Ball, and he can drop one across. There's going to be another full buy coming through. So Entropiq still have a lot of work to do here. They need to start to stabilize their economy to try and get back in this game. Try to get back in the lead. It's a real tight one at the moment, and you can see the stadium slowly but surely starting to fill up here in the Rod Laver Arena. Everyone having a damn good time, nice and early. What's better than some semi-final Counter-Strike on a Sunday morning, Jim?
Well, if there is something I'm not aware of its existence. Look at this forward line from Imperial. They're really trying to stack the deck in their favor. But Entropiq, look how deeply set they are again. They were waiting at this A aggression. It's come from Imperial a few times. But the recognition that they are not so far forward as they've been previously. Bolts, again, has just got a ton of info. And so look at this rotation back towards A. Bolts has got everything that he needs. He knows that there's no presence towards B. So with Fur so deep in connector, I'm not liking this for Entropiq. They really have to punch their way into this A site with a few entries, and that is probably their best chance through. So they will have to filter through A long.
Oh, Crad's so close there. With the attempt at the wall bang. Push comes up to site now. chelo starting to strike with his head down over towards the plants. Fallen. He's mollied off for now, and dances with death there as he falls off a jumper. Bolts now starts to make the flank work. Good damage. And Entropiq are second guessing themselves. They don't want to go for the plant, but Fur, he wants a bit. He wants a more! Elian checks his flank just in time and hits him with a flick.
They were waiting on that play. They were waiting on that play and it never came. Elian now has given him a fighting chance in this round.
Hunting for more. He's got lucky once, but can he do it again? Not just yet. It's all down to him on 14 HP. Fallen though. This man, he's hunting for 3. He's looking to defuse the crosshair. It looks so damn good, so damn close. He's got the kill, but there's a kit. And Imperial, they'll take another. Great trade to come through. And Brazilians in the crowd could not be happier with that.
I would not be surprised to see Entropiq buy into this next round. You know Imperial's money's pretty much on the rocks, so yes, they clutched that round out. It comes at a cost, and it might just allow Entropiq back into this round. But man, what a time. Elian, they really had everything against them up until that. That is so dirty.
That just reminds me of what we saw from Ali yesterday.
Yeah.
Ridiculous scenes, a couple of crazy AWP shots already here in ESL Challenger Melbourne, and there's still plenty more Counter-Strike to go. Elian dodging all that damage, spammed in through the condor. chelo expecting the change in pace from Mir up short. And a nade should get some great value for money there. Fur can follow through with a decent amount of damage. He's almost found 2, and he might have just done enough.
He's softened them up nicely, Matt. They're a little squishy. And look at the push coming through. Bolts with the confidence and the information. Elian's not going to stick around for any fight, but man, they've got no control of the bomb in Entropiq. And so, where do they turn their attention? They've got a minute to play with. A minute to win it with not much in it, and there's, unfortunately now, Imperial starting to take territory. They've got bomb control. There's no utility left for Entropiq.
Entropiq, their patience all tournament has been such a sight for sore eyes. But is it going to come back to bite them? Because Imperial, they're so experienced. Entropiq want them to make some mistakes, want them to overstep, but they know with the bomb down in short, there is no hope in this round. So pack your bags, try again. Moving into round at 26, it looks like Imperial may just be 2 rounds away from taking their map choice here in this semi-final series. And they're really, really taking it to Entropiq on this Sunday morning.
These 2 AKs are going to have a critical role to play in the next round because I'm looking at the money. Yeah, the loss bonus is pretty much getting up. It's barely up on a Sunday morning, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And
heard it was easy on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, so that's where you got lied to.
Entropiq, no pushovers.
I have faith no more in Sunday mornings, I'll tell you that. But as far as Entropiq are concerned, these AKs, they've got to make something happen. They need some heroes to stand up. And there's our heroes in the crowd.
Doing work, making noise. Look, there's just a small chunk, a small section at the moment.
It's good to see you all in church on a Sunday morning, everybody.
So loud, so boisterous. Now, it seems like back-to-back tacks coming through. As we do jump back into the game. Both teams wanting their say wanting to level those heads, and Entropiq really talking through what they're going to do with this force buy. Not much util brought into the round, but they have to make something work with it because Imperial are 2 rounds away from a dub.
Utility halts progression for Entropiq. Everything is on fire at that B-bomb site, so the floor is lava and they do not want to take a risk, but Nickelback has managed to wait that out, beat it out a little.
Ooh.
Oh man, he's got to try and deal with all this util. Here we go, Fallen. Aggressive shotgun offing.
At this range, ridiculous. Molly as well to force them up short instead, but with this control just outside of Monster, Imperial, they're not letting Entropiq into the site without a fight, and now Entropiq running around like ants, just scurrying to safety, looking to upgrade as much as they can. Forrest has got himself an extra flash to play with, and he's just going to lob it across for nothing.
Tell you what, Entropiq are having a bit of difficulty dealing with a very CT active side. They're proactive. Fallen's taken a more active role with that AWP. You've seen him really move that around in that early round, and that has meant that Entropiq are kept guessing. This is that map you can do at Overpass. It's a playground for an AWPer.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, he is on the monkey bars right now and just having a time. Fur has even taken territory too now, so man, Imperial, they're really trying to put the hurt on. Nickelback has got the line though, so with 23 seconds left, I don't think they're going to make it to a bomb site. They're just playing a really high-risk, high-stakes game of hide-and-go-seek.
Yeah, they just need to carry the rifles across to the next because Imperial are about to have 4 match points to play with, 15 secured in seconds. And look at the scoreboard as well. Fur, Fallen, Chelo, Bolts, all of them lifting today. Vinny, a little bit slow to the party, but at the same time, he did a lot of work yesterday. And you don't need everyone firing up to get a win like this, but Entropiq, a slow start and maybe even a slow finish. They will not be happy with the performance so far, but Imperial have just brought the pain at the moment, and they need one more round to take their map choice and start the series with a map win.
If you're Entropiq, you really do feel as though you were never in the map. It hasn't necessarily been as close as they would have wanted. They had a bit of a fight back there in the early stages of this half, but since then, Imperial really have tightened their vice grip on this map. So Forrester looking to try and find an early opening. Imperial heavy presence towards B, and we've seen them do this quite a few times in the early round. They're happy to let Fur just be this lone ranger, this splinter cell, send him in solo.
Imperial, early gamble towards the lower side. Back to A, see Ball and Scurry. Bringing the AWP to a long-range line in case Entropiq decide to commit there.
Oh.
But now with a bit of noise made towards the B side of things, we are going to see a bit of movement from Imperial back towards bathrooms, just hunting for that info and looking to posture for a retake. Looks like it's a full-on retake set up from Imperial.
It certainly is. But they stacked it in the early stages, and now Vinny needs to take this active info role because he needs to buy so much time for Imperial. Contact play, they're in. They will get this bomb plant down, you would suspect, unless the fire and fighting is too much. Ooh. They're getting crushed on entry, Mac. This might be it.
This could just be it. Nickelback needs to get the plant down. No cover on short. There and there it bloody is. Crad falls. Vinny fires up right at the end. And it's a 5-round lead, a 5-round dub, 16-11. And Imperial, they've done it nice and early here on a Sunday morning. The Brazilians in the bloody bleachers. They're cheering, they're happy. They could not be happier, but there's still a lot of work to do. We got a second map to get to. And Entropiq, it's their choice.
Certainly is, so they'll be hoping to take some positives out of this map.